What is up, world? People of Earth, people of multiple planets, realities, dimensions, anybody and everybody listening to this. How are you today? My name is Natalia, and welcome back to another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs. What is ThirdEyeCyphs? What is this lovely podcast? Well, it is a podcast. You are right about that. It's a podcast where we talk about, first and foremost, self-realization. The realization that the self is one with the divine. And what do I mean by the divine? I mean source consciousness, creation, the incomprehensible, the Tao, the Vedas, Shiv Shakti, whatever you want to call our lovely Lord. Nature, science. You can call it everything, and it would still, you could call it anything. You call it pizza, and you would still be talking about God, because God is everything. So, self-realization is the attainment of that knowledge, but truly inhabiting the fact that we are one with the divine. We could all say, oh yeah, we're one with the divine, but it's the true realization that we actually are, that's self-realization. That's enlightenment, guys. It's enlightenment, okay? That word's so thrown around that it kind of breaks my heart, but it's okay. I'm here to point out the differences, guys, because I'm not a big fan of this mainstream spirituality, new age stuff. I'm not. Even though that's what introduced me to all of these things, I don't like the surface level of it. I mean, like, it's great that it introduces people because it introduced me, and I'm sure a lot of people, but we gotta go deeper than that, guys. We gotta go deeper than that. If we really want to get somewhere with this, we gotta move beyond that. So, anyways, self-realization, guys. Personal development. It's all within the same thing. Personal development, spiritual growth, esoteric knowledge, conspiracy theories, law of attraction, manifestation, and just becoming our greatest versions. So basically everything and anything in and out of this world, this universe, and a bunch of other stuff to help you realize your truest potential, your truest nature. And yeah, that is what this podcast is. So in today's episode, we will be talking about parallel realities. I talk about this in probably every freaking episode, but we are actually getting down to parallel realities, what they are, and a little bit of quantum theory, a little bit of string theory, and I'm going to be sharing a video with you guys, obviously not in the audio of this because it's a podcast, guys. No, but I will be sharing the video in the ThirdEyeCyphs podcast community Facebook group, if you guys are a part of that or not a part of that. But if you're not, you have to join it, because this is where I'm sharing all of this outside information so that you guys can know what I'm talking about, right? It's a great video. I literally just watched it, and it explains a lot. It's really good. So anyways, that is what we're talking about in today's episode, and this has been another episode of ThirdEyeCyphs.
ThirdEyeCyphs. ThirdEyeCyphs.
That is right. We are back. We are back with another episode. It is Friday. I have to stop recording these episodes the day of, but it just feels so nice. It feels nice to start off my day with this podcast. I have energy. It is the morning. I am watching the rising sun. The rising sun. It's funny when I say that because I think of Christian HIII. If you guys, a lot of people don't know who Christian HIII is, but if you skateboard and you know classic skateboarding, then you know who Christian HIII is. So when I say rising sun, I thought of him. But anyways, not to go into that. If you guys want to know who that is, he's a freaking amazing skater. He's older now, but he's one of the living legends. So, either way, guys. Hello. It is morning. It is Friday. It is May 21st that I am recording this, and we are in Season 3, Episode 20. How long? I'm going to go through our little podcast archive and see how long these seasons usually last. I feel like they're around like 20, 24, 26 episodes. Okay, we reached 26, episode 26 in season 2, so we have about, like, a few weeks left until the end of this season. That's pretty good, guys. Oh, and then season 1 ended at 22 episodes. Okay, so I think it's really up to me. We might start season 2 on my birthday, which is in a few weeks. My birthday is in June. I am a Cancer sun. And yeah, so it's almost season 4, guys. Did I say we're gonna start season 3? I don't know, guys. I can't keep up, okay? Again, it's early. Yeah, we're gonna be starting season 4. Can you believe that? So, I mean, I can believe that because it's gonna be going on. Well, we've been doing it for over a year now. It's gonna be a year and a half, and then yeah, by the end of 2021, we'll be 2 years strong. Okay. So yes, this is season 3, episode 20. Parallel realities, dimensions, and quantum leaping. This has to be one of my favorite topics, and guys, to give you a disclaimer, for those of you who don't listen to this podcast often, I am not a scientist, I am not a physicist. I'm just telling you the things that I've learned, the things that I've heard from people who actually do study this. I don't know them personally, but I read their studies and I listen to their theories. And I also experience things. Okay, so I take, like, this modern science, and then I study ancient knowledge, which is, like, ancient spirituality and the things that the Vedas have been talking about for thousands of years, because the Vedas are one of the oldest teachings in the world. And also, like, just other practices, like shamanic practices, very low-key spiritual practices that, you know, these tribes and indigenous people studied. And I take ancient spirituality, modern science. Something weird is happening in my headphones or my ear. I can't tell. That was weird. Okay. I couldn't tell if my ear was ringing or the headphone in my ear just spewed out a bunch of weird frequencies into my ear. But I'm taking it out of my ear now because that was weird. So, anyway, so I take that modern science, ancient spirituality, and then combine it with my own personal intuition and experience. It's not like I'm going just based off of intuition. I'm experiencing certain things and I'm realizing certain things for myself and then putting them together with these theories and spiritualities. And I'm coming to my own conclusions. So, I don't know. There's no set way on how to realize knowledge or just these things, because it really is you have to see it for yourself, guys, kind of thing. So yeah, so don't, like, always do your own research, and I don't put this disclaimer in every single one of my episodes, but when I remember to say it, I do. Always do research for yourself. Never take my word for anything. Look into it yourself, please. And do this for everything, not even for this, like for me. Like, oh yeah, well, she might not know what she's talking about, so I'm gonna do my own research. But this goes hand in hand with teachers that talk to you in school, or just adults. If you're an adult, technically I'm a freaking adult, but, like, people who, like, oh, I'm an adult. You know what I mean? Like, I don't say, like, oh, I'm an adult. It sounds weird to say that. I feel like I'm like a kid still. But anyways, so yes, always do your own research, guys. Don't take anybody's word for anything. Don't listen to the freaking news and take their word for it. No, do your own research, but do intensive research. I talk a little bit about this in last week's episode. What was last week's episode called? How to think for yourself. Or, yeah, well, how to be a free thinker, but really how to think for yourself. And, yes, I go more into detail with how to do that in last week's episode. So that would be season 3, episode 19. So anyways, do your own research, guys, but I'm gonna just be telling you some things that I've learned, some things that I've realized, and some things to help you, again, realize your truest potential. So, also, another little disclaimer really quickly. There have been glitches and audio jumps in the episodes, and I'm not seeing them when they happen in front of my face as I'm recording, so I don't know that they're happening until I literally look back at listen to the episode, and then I hear it, and then it skips back like a few seconds, and then you miss like kind of like a little detail of what I said, so you kind of have to figure out what I said, and then some of it like skips back a couple seconds and then repeats what I said, so it sounds like I'm saying it twice. It's very odd. You guys may have noticed it. I think it has to do with the CPU usage and the buffer amount on my program. If you guys mix and master and use music programs or software, then you might know what I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, you might know what I'm talking about. I personally don't even know what I'm talking about. I had to look it up, and I'm guessing that's what it is because I'm not seeing it happen. So now I have this like performance monitor showing my CPU usage in the program to see if these spikes happen so I can know if it's happening or not. But I don't even know if that's what the problem is. I'm just going based on assumption, guys, because I really don't know what it is. So hopefully what I did, I freaking spent all night yesterday trying to figure it out. So hopefully I fixed it, but I don't know. Well, hopefully when I look back at this episode, it's not like so anyways, sorry about that with we're trying to move forward, guys, and I'm trying to try new programs, but I have a MIDI keyboard for and some easy recording programs don't support that, so it's a little hard, and I have a pretty old computer, so I would understand why it's probably the computer. I don't know, but my problems are not your problems, guys. I'm just letting you know what's kind of happening with the audio, and I'm working on it. So hopefully this episode is okay. Some episodes are okay, and then some are weird. So we'll just see. Anyways, how are you guys? How are you? I hope you're doing well. I hope this week has been great for you, and I hope that your following week is great for you until the next time we speak. Have you guys been checking in with yourself? If you don't know, I have a self-care checklist that I've provided you that we go through every single episode. And you guys may say, this is a bit redundant, Natalia. Like, we really have to go through this every single time. And it's like, do you really have to check in with yourself every single time? And the answer is yes, because there are so many, like, you may not be checking in with yourself because you're doing so many things. So it is my job to check in with you. If me and you were working together one-on-one, like if we were doing a coaching program or consultation, which you can book on thewritingsofnatalia.com in the Thrive tab or the Thrive page, then I would be checking in with you all the time. So this is like me working with you one-on-one, and we need to be checking in with ourselves because it's so important to our own mental sanity and health, and we may not realize we're not taking care of ourselves, and I'm here to bring that awareness to you, that you may not be taking care of yourself. So number one, are you staying hydrated? Are you drinking water or some kind of nutritious liquid often that doesn't have too much sugar? So it's a bit detailed. Well, the reason why I say that is because, and I've come to this, I've learned this very recently, so I've been saying in the last few episodes, is that a whole liter of, let's say, iced tea, unsweetened, is equally as hydrating as a whole liter of water. So if you don't like drinking water straight up, you can put things in it, like lemon, orange, well, that's still considered water, but I'm saying like iced tea, unsweetened, stay away from corn syrup, guys, that ish will kill you. And yeah, so like iced tea, what else? I guess fruit juices, but not too much fruit juices, like to have a lot of sugar, because sugar's not too good for you, too. I don't know what else to drink. Milk, maybe, okay, but not cow's milk, guys. You wouldn't want to drink cow's milk. I don't know. You guys figure it out, okay? Just stay hydrated, okay? Stay hydrated. It is essential for our body to keep functioning properly, okay? And are you drinking from non-plastic or BPA-free bottle? Please do, because those chemicals get into your drinks and you're ingesting those chemicals. Watch your pH balance in your water as well. Try to keep it neutral around 7.5. Guys, you can't believe what I freaking found out. So there's this water. You may have heard this. I just recently found this out last weekend. There's this water called real water? I think real alkaline. You guys may have seen it. I've actually only seen it in, like, spiritual stores for some reason. What is it called? Yeah, real water. If you look it up now, it's actually a recent thing. If you look it up, real water, I've seen this. I think I've drank it once, actually. It's like killing people or something. 23-year-old's liver cancer linked to real water, lawsuit claims. This was 2 days ago, 18 hours ago. Federal government orders recall, destruction of all real water products. This is 18 hours ago. Health district says woman's death connected to real water illnesses. FDA says do not drink real water brand alkaline water. Okay, guys, so we have to, like, it's so important to watch the freaking water that you are drinking, okay? I personally only drink spring water, okay? I'm not gonna drink no, like, 9.5 pH hydro blah blah blah, like, made in a freaking lab water, because it's made in a freaking, it's like GMO water, okay? Just because it's like, oh, alkaline seems trendy, like, okay, freaking no. Alkalinity is, you have to do your research, guys, because this is what it is, right? Our stomach is acidic. It's very acidic so that we can break down foods easy to digest. When we are drinking something that is highly alkaline, our body naturally is going to try to neutralize it and bring it back to its original state, which is acidic. So if we're ingesting a lot of alkalinity, our body is using a lot of energy and resources to try to bring it back to a neutral state. This can cause illness. This could cause health problems, cause digestion problems, this could cause organ failure, this could cause death, the freaking lady. So, So, just do your research. This is what I'm trying to say. So, if you're like, oh, alkaline water seems cool, like, oh, it seems healthy, the bottle says it's freaking healthy, do your own research first, okay? You see this crap, real water is freaking killing people, and now they're recalling it. It's freaking water. Like, really? So just watch it, and watch these independent companies too trying to sell you things, especially health. Question anything that's trying to sell you health and wealth. Health, wealth, and I don't know what else. What else rhymes with elf? Stealth. Okay. So, anyways, watch the pH. I say stick with spring water. You can't freaking go wrong with spring water. It comes from the freaking mountain. And maybe if you want to catch your own water, if you live in an area where it rains, catch your own water. That'd be cool. And then create like some sort of filtration system and then send it to me, because my goals are to be self-sustainable somewhere in the mountains where nobody can find me. And you can only listen to this podcast like through some weird frequency or something. No, you can probably listen to the internet, but you won't know where the hell I am. You'll just hear like forest creatures in the background. We actually have some enchanted forest music on right now. At 528 hertz to source the sounds. Okay. So you guys must think I'm freaking crazy. You must listen to this and be like, what is she even talking about? Okay. Fluoride free. Stay away from the freaking fluoride. It is calcifying our pineal gland, and our pineal gland is what helps us see the spiritual world and beyond the physical, okay? Fluoride's pretty weird, okay? It's in freaking everything, and then it also calcifies on our teeth. You can see it on our freaking teeth, and then they put it in our toothpaste too, and be like, oh, this is good for your teeth, but then, like, it doesn't really seem like it's good for our teeth. Just stay away from it, or just do your research on it. Just be like, why is fluoride bad for you? And don't listen to mainstream. This goes back to last week's episode. Don't listen to mainstream news. Go deeper. Keep going deeper, and look into alternative sources, not mainstream media or news. So your food should be organic. Highly recommended to be organic. Doesn't freaking have to be organic. I'm not saying everything in my damn fridge is organic, okay? Because we all know how those organic prices are, okay? And they do it on purpose. Don't even think that, like, oh, because, no. They do it on purpose. They don't want us to be freaking healthy. They want us to eat mass-produced, genetically modified organisms, which goes on to my next one. Do not eat genetically modified organisms. They are literally little genetically modified organisms. Like, why would you want to eat that? And then, if you're eating vegetables, which you should be, go for dark greens. The darker the green, the healthier it is. And for your mental health, Are you taking a break? Are you resting? Are you giving yourself a chance to play? I need to allow that into my life this week. I did not, I don't think. I mean, I went grocery shopping. I don't know if that's taking a break. It's really not, because I did that yesterday and I rushed there because I had to figure out the whole audio thing for the podcast, and I didn't even have time to figure out the audio for the podcast yesterday, which pushed it all. I mean, the day before yesterday. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm just confusing you with my personal problems. What are my personal problems? I'm just explaining something. But anyways, I didn't give myself the chance to rest or take a break. Throughout the week, I was just constantly working. When I would go to my job, I'd just be doing my job. As soon as I get home, I'm working for myself. This is my week, but I try to put intervals of me resting and playing and just relaxing and not doing anything that has to do with work. But this past week, I was probably just nonstop working, didn't give myself that break, and I almost had a meltdown yesterday. Well, I did have a meltdown yesterday. It wasn't like a full-blown, like, oh my god! But it was close to there, just because I couldn't... This laptop that I record the podcast on is so slow, and I was trying to like do this optimization thing, and it was taking like 2 hours, and it was taking 2 hours away from my time that I had to work on fixing the podcast audio, and it was just driving me crazy. But patience is key, and everything's divine timing. So I stare my Baba in the face. I literally have him everywhere. Like, I have pictures of God everywhere, like, whether it be swamis, whether it be quotes, whether it be different forms of God. I have them pasted all over my freaking house, all over my apartment, just because you always have to consistently remember God. The most divine thing you can do is remember the divine in all moments, and that is my goal, to help you achieve that. So falling into fits like that, it's just, I stare God in the face, basically. By looking at anything, I'm staring God in the face. But it brings me back to that center, like, what are you doing? Relax, okay? Like, stop getting caught up in this physical dimension, because it's just the physical dimension. And then I'm like, oh my god, you're right. So anyways, give yourself that chance to take a break and rest and relax and play, create, explore, remain curious, be your inner child, because you still are your inner child. So integrate that into your life. Do you have a healthy support system? Do you have nice friends and family that support your dreams, goals, aspirations? Do they bring you up instead of bringing you down? Do they give you their full attention and awareness when you're speaking to them, or talking seriously to them, or trying to communicate your problems or your worries? Do they listen to you? Are they helpful? And do they help you when you're in need? Those are good friends. It's a healthy support system. They support you in whatever you decide to do, and if you're deciding to do something that is not for your best health or benefit, then those people also tell you that. That's a very healthy support system. So another thing for your emotional health, again, is expression, okay? If you're bottling up your emotions, that does a physical toll on you, and it can cause health problems. It can cause mental health problems, emotional health problems, and spiritual health problems. So we need to be expressing ourselves in some way, whether it be through some sort of physical activity, through sports, through dance, through singing, through playing instruments, through creating art, painting, drawing, writing, journaling, anything that has to do with some sort of expression. This is very important for us. And this doesn't even have to be like on the right side of brain of things. It could be very, like, maybe expressing yourself is through, I don't know, that's how right-brained, oh my gosh, look at, I sound like a freaking right-brained, I am, wait, is it the right brain? It has to be right brain, left versus left brain, let's see. Yeah, it is the right brain. I feel like I'm such a creative person, I can't even think of the logical way to do things. But, you know, you could express, for you logical people, you'll figure out how do you know how you express yourself. Like, what makes you feel like you are expressing yourself 100%? And this doesn't even have to be something logical. This could be, like, screaming out loud. Like amongst the hilltops. That's a way of expressing yourself, guys. I mean, that's not either or. That's just screaming. So do whatever you want. Just express yourself, okay? Let those emotions out. Don't bottle them up and then communicate. That is a form of expressing. Talking. Make a freaking podcast. Talk about your problems, and then people might listen to it. Who knows? So that is a form of expression. Speech. I just took a giant cat stretch. Okay, I needed that. I've contemplated doing yoga before doing the podcast because I literally wake up. I wake up at 5 in the morning, and as soon as I just sit up automatically, like on these days, I'm like, okay, podcast. And I'm like half asleep, like with my eyes half closed, turning on the laptop, setting up my equipment if it's not set up already. Actually, I set it up last night because I was working on it all night. Usually it's not set up, so I have to set it up. I have to kind of get my energy right so I could do a little card reading for you guys. And yeah, that's what it is. So speaking of card reading, we are going to get into that. So that is it for the self-care checklist. If you want to pick up your own self-care checklist so you can check on yourself every now and then and just look at the self-care checklist. It's cool looking, guys. I want you to see it. So it makes you realize that, well, it doesn't make you realize this, but the design is to help you realize that this world is a freaking illusion. This whole entire reality is an illusion. This moment that you are experiencing is an illusion. I am an illusion. What you are hearing, the words that I'm saying, is all an illusion. It's a dream. Don't take this reality too seriously. It's a dream. You can take it seriously to the point where you want to control the dream, right? You don't want to just go wherever the direction it goes. You may want to, but you can control this dream. It's like a lucid dream. This is a lucid dream, guys. And when we go to sleep, it's like another lucid dream, like a different lucid dream. Okay. I feel like we spend like half of our life, well, we do kind of, in the dream state. And that dream state, most of the time, is the astral realm, guys. So if we learn to astral project, I don't know how I started talking about this, but if we learn to astral project, we can like make more use of our life, because then we go to sleep. Well, when we're astral projecting, I don't think we're sleeping, because I think when we're finished astral projecting, we probably still feel tired because our consciousness is still awake. I don't know. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense, guys. Don't listen to that. So, when we go to sleep, our consciousness is still awake. It's not like our consciousness goes to sleep. So, I don't think our consciousness ever goes to sleep. Or our consciousness? I gotta do more self-reflection on that. I'm not gonna do it here, because then you're just gonna hear me and be like, what? But this, but that. And then maybe I'll do a whole podcast of me just talking to myself. Well, okay, I'm just talking to myself now, but it's not like I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to you guys, so it's kind of different. But I'll just leave like the microphone on and then contemplate things out loud. And then you guys can just hear me contemplate things, and you're gonna be like, what is going on in her head? Okay. So, I did a lovely card reading for you guys. If you don't know, I do weekly card readings on this podcast. Also, just a quick shout out to Anchor for sponsoring this video. It's a podcast platform that you can record, edit on your phone or computer, and it's for free. They distribute it everywhere, like Apple, Spotify, Google, a whole bunch of podcast platforms, and you can make money from it with like a very low minimum amount of listeners. So like, one person can be listening and you'll still be making money, which is pretty awesome. It's literally everything you need in one spot to make a perfect podcast, to speak your truth, to kind of get your message out there. So I would highly suggest it. You can find it in your app store, so I would say check it out, guys. All right. I tried to, at least. And I pulled from the Energy Oracle card deck by Sandra Ann Teller, guys. I'm sorry I did not pull from the new freaking card deck that looks so cool. Trust me, it looks so cool. And I was supposed to bless them or put my energy into them yesterday, and I felt the calling to do so, and I just didn't, and I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I'm so yawny today. Yawny. So the card I pulled, so getting into this card reading, so I was shuffling the deck, right, and this card flew out at me. And then I was like, okay, we might work with this. But then I was like, nah. And then I put it back in the deck, and then I started shuffling. And I was like, okay, again, you know me. So if this is the card, just give it to me again. So I did this whole full-ass shuffle. then split the deck how I usually do. That's my usual pulling method. And then I flipped the card and boop, the first card that flew out at me originally, and I just screamed, "I love you!" because I love when that happens. It means, Natalia, just freaking take the card, okay? Stop being stubborn, take the card, this is the reading. But I want to be sure, I don't want to give you guys false readings, so that's why I do that, and I know it's a true reading when the universe gives the card back to me. Again, it's like, no, this is the card. So, very interesting, right? Isn't it interesting? So the card I pulled is the man holding a coin. The man holding a coin. And he is this very, luscious looking man. He has very long, beautiful hair. And he's wearing, like, one of those, like, long, flowy, white, like, long sleeve white, flowy t-shirts that are unbuttoned in the chest. You know, like, those, like, model pictures, or, like, mostly, like, Spanish model pictures. I feel like it's very Spanish, like, a very loose, white, long sleeve shirt that's unbuttoned at the chest, and he's all like, "Hello, my name is Pedro," or something. I don't know why I used that name. Maybe I should have used, like, Don Juan, or I don't know. Anyways, he has very luscious hair, and he's holding a giant coin in his hand. This coin represents fortune, money, health, abundance. And it is male. There's another card that is a woman holding a coin, and I think we got that for the monthly card reading that I do on my IGTV. So you guys may be familiar with that, and I think we have gotten the man holding a coin before. But anyways, this represents a male energy and a connection to health, wealth, abundance. So for men, guys, listen up, guys, men, men. This could represent an aspect of yourself, guys. I'm talking to the guys here. Whoever identifies as a guy. Because I don't even know if that would, like, whoever identifies as a guy. I don't know how the card goes according to that. I don't know how gender neutral these cards are. But, so, this, for you guys, could be an aspect of yourself. This could represent a readiness to further your goals and receive increased health, money, or value. So this could be a representation of that readiness to fulfill what you have been planning that will increase your money or health or any sort of value that you may have. So it could be you're ready to launch your business. You are ready to start a new job. You are ready to start a new business partnership. You are ready to start a new health journey, maybe go on a diet, maybe do some sort of health program, workout program, join a gym, something that's gonna give you some sort of value or money or increase your health. You are ready to embark on that new journey and further your goals, whatever that may be. So this card in the little book, it says, I like this, I like this. Greater success is on its way when you take control of your own finances and act. Act. Key word here. So, greater success is on its way when you take control of your own finances and act. So, the man is holding the coin. For guys, this could be you controlling that value, controlling those finances. This card could also mean that you will be receiving assistance from some sort of male energy in he may be a financial advisor or a healer. So this person is going to assist you in that in furthering, oh my gosh, I can't speak today, I'm freaking stuttering all over the place. He could be assisting you in furthering your goals or bringing you the wisdom and information you may need to move closer to those goals. So he could be a financial advisor or a healer or some sort of mentor. And it could be a male energy. It doesn't have to technically be a guy, but it could be a very strong male energy. And you may know this person. This person may have been starting to give you this sort of information, knowledge, and help. Or you could be meeting this person very soon. So you have to be open to this person or be open to all instances that may happen in your life. So this man is going to be very helpful. He's going to bring very wise advice to you concerning the next steps that you need to take to further your goals or actions. So again, be open to this person, but always turn to your intuition to weigh the info that you receive. So no matter what he tells you, go with your intuition as well. Like, yes, be open to his advice, but also take into consideration your own personal feelings. If it doesn't feel right to you or it doesn't resonate with you, then that's fine. It's your life. He's only giving you advice, or they're only giving you advice, and you use it the way you want to or you feel is right. Ladies, or guys too, this could also be a sign of a new love interest or a new relationship with a man that can bring you some sort of value. So it could be a new love interest with a wealthy man or somebody from work. So maybe there's a love interest going on in there in work, in the work field, or you may have met a recently wealthy man, or you will meet a wealthy man. Ooh, what would you want to create? So yeah, that's pretty much that. So the affirmation that goes with this, come on guys, everybody say this affirmation with me. Everybody can use these affirmations, like whether these apply to you or not. Affirmations are great for the soul and for attuning yourself to a certain vibration of attaining the things that you want to. So say with me guys, we are going to do the affirmation for this lovely guy holding a freaking coin. I determine my own destiny. Come on guys, I determine my own destiny. Say it with your freaking heart. I determine my own destiny. I take financial action and am receiving wonderful assistance from those around me. I take financial action and am receiving wonderful assistance from those around me. I determine my own destiny. I take financial action and am receiving wonderful assistance from those around me. Hence, I take financial action. Action, action, action. We are not waiting for things to come to us. We need to be taking action when it comes to achieving our goals and wanting to create the life that we want to create for ourselves. We can't just sit around waiting for it to happen. Yes, manifestation is a thing, but action is a major part of it. So, with that being said, that is the card for the week. So again, be open to opportunities and people that may come into your life. If you don't know a person personally that will do this, you may be meeting the person. So if you come into contact with some sort of male energy that seems to be providing you with some sort of sage advice around money, health, or value, then this may be that person of assistance. Take their words diligently, if that's the word I mean to use. Listen to what they have to say and trust your intuition. So me personally, to further my goals, well, what I do every morning, I once I wake up, I light my altar, because God first. God first. I light my altar, I center with the universe, and I'm like, thank you for another day. Let's do this. And I start my morning routine, and right before I leave my house, I sit at my altar, thank the Lord for freaking everything, and I say, any opportunity or person that I meet today is meant to push me further on my goals. Any person I meet today is meant to push me further on my goals. And usually when I do that, I usually don't say that every day, but usually when I do say that, the people that happen to come in contact with me during that day, I could walk past and then a stranger might stop me, or somebody may come into my job, or somebody may call me, or I might just meet somebody in a random situation, and they end up sort of providing me with some sort of value or advice. Like literally yesterday, okay, so I said this yesterday before I left the house, and then I opened up a fortune cookie at my job because I was hungry and I only had a fortune cookie in my bag. And I got the fortune said, a cheerful message is on its way to you now. And I was like, okay. Literally not even 5 minutes later, some freaking lady walks into my job And then she comes in and she's like, do you know where I could find camisoles? She was like looking for like spaghetti strap string tank tops. I was like, we don't have any, but like check blah blah blah. I told her all these stores. And then she saw a sign in the studio that said like, love is all you need or something. She was like, love is all you need. And then she started preaching about love and God, and it was like, you have to love God first, and then your friends and family, and then your enemies. God is love, so love is all you need. And starts telling me all this stuff. Now, it's not like I was like, okay, Laylee, like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I literally, 5 minutes ago, I had just freaking opened that fortune, so I was taking these words into consideration. I literally do not believe in coincidence. I believe in synchronicity, which is a meaningful coincidence. I do a whole episode on synchronicities. The title of it is Synchronicities, so just go back in the episodes if you want to look through it. So I knew that this was a message from the Lord itself, the universe, and she said herself, I didn't know she was going to start preaching God. I thought she was going to start preaching love, but then she brought God into it, so it further made me think, oh, this is definitely a freaking message to the universe, because now the universe knows. The universe always knows how, it's your reality, right? So it's your universe, and it knows how you think, it knows how you react to things, and it knows how you view things. So originally, years ago, when I was not so attached to God or the concept of it, I was presented these messages in a very different way. But now that I have started practicing bhakti yoga and I have become very devoted to God, messages about God come to me more often than they used to when I was years ago, when I first started off on the path. So, but they resonated with me on the same level because it was my level of understanding. So now I just get like random preachers just come up to me and like, blah, 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 God this, God that. I'm like, yeah. They see this giant T-lock on my forehead. And even though they're preaching about like a Christian God, it's all the same God to me, but they maybe they're preaching to me because they're like, oh, you know, like, your God's not the real God. That's probably why, honestly. I don't know. But, I take all of it into consideration, so I knew it was a message from the universe, and I was just like, okay, thank you, but she kept saying, God bless you, and I'm not used to saying that. I say bless you, like, God bless you to my family when I hang up the phone to them, when I hang up the phone to them. That's the only thing I do. It's like a Spanish thing, I think, or like maybe like a Puerto Rican thing. I don't know, because I when I hear my Mexican friends talk to their family on the phone, I don't hear them say that, so maybe it's like a, I don't know, other sort of Spanish person thing. So I'm not used to saying that. She kept saying it, and then before she left the studio, she was like, okay, God bless you, and then she looked at me like and stared at me and waited for me to say it back, but I didn't know that originally, and there was too long of a pause in the beginning to just say, God bless you too, because then it would have felt very awkward and unnatural to me, so I just stood there like smiling and nodding at her, but then like the amount of seconds that she stared at me waiting to say God bless you back was so awkward that like, and then she just walked away like smiling, and I was like, okay, that was weird. But anyways, these situations, I don't take them lightly. I take them as messages from the universe. So if something like this happens to you, take their words into consideration and follow your intuition. So getting into this episode, guys, we are talking about quantum leaping and parallel realities. Now, you may have noticed I skipped the announcements section. I don't really have any announcements for you other than the launching of the Writings of Natalia. If you don't follow me on Instagram at the Writings of Natalia, then you should, because the Writings of Natalia is my brand. It is my company. It is my business, okay? ThirdEyeCyphs is a podcast that is hosted under the Writings of Natalia. And the Writings of Natalia is a sensory experience made or created to help you realize your truest potential. So I am going to be, I'm a writer. I'm a writer, an artist, creative, a freaking spiritual advisor, a podcast host. I'm all these freaking things. You could label me as many things as you want. I am an infinite being with no labels whatsoever. I'm not even consciousness. I'm not even this human body. But, so, the Writings of Natalia, I've created it into a sensory experience to help you realize your truest nature. So what it is that I'm providing you things that go along with this human experience. So in order to understand the incomprehensible, we have to understand its form. And because we can only understand form, because we are in the dimension of form, and our mind can only comprehend form. So we have to put God or the universe or divinity into some sort of form in order for us to understand it. And this is the concept of an Ishtadeva, or even just Hinduism in general. If you look up the concept of Brahman is the incomprehensible, and these gods, these like Vishnu, Shiva, these are all representations of Brahman, because Brahman is incomprehensible, and since we can't comprehend Brahman, we have to comprehend some sort of form and put qualities to it. So there's certain words for Brahman with qualities and Brahman without qualities. But I can do a whole episode on that, but in order for us to understand the divine, it has to be put into form. So I am providing you a sensory experience, a sensory experience to help you understand the divinity. And by sensory experience, I mean going according to your senses. So this human experience is attached to these 5 senses. So we see, we taste, we touch, we feel, we hear. And I would say we understand. So understand is kind of out of that. But understanding comes as a conclusion to all of these senses. So through my writing, I am stimulating your mind and your intellect. You have to, it's my writing is it's beyond the surface. Like, some things you read, it's clearly stated, but it's what's behind the words and the meaning that is what is going to stimulate your mind. So anything that I write, you have to, and something that you don't understand, that it kind of sounds like a metaphor or a certain way of saying it, think of how I mean it, think of the whole context, and it's a kind of a way to stimulate your mind and your intellect to understanding something that is more divine. So through my writing, I will be doing that, and then also through my art. I'm going to be publishing a lot of art. It's going to be a combination of mixed media art, painting, digital art, photography. All of these things are meant for, this is for your site, okay? So through your site, you are getting this sort of idea of how I view the divine or how I see this reality. And it helps you come into more terms of how you understand reality or how you view your reality or dimension or universe, whatever. Then, for your sounds, I'm going to be creating or providing you with certain sounds that I hear, and it's going to be sort of an art. It's like an audio-visual art thing, and I'm going to be having sounds. There's going to be music, and these are all things to stimulate your mind and make you think and realize, and not only that, but experience. So that's why I say it's a sensory experience. It's made to help you experience and realize that truest nature, that divinity. And yeah, so then for your hearing, and then we can't really go into taste. I can't make you taste things. Eventually, when things start opening up and I actually have a physical business, like I will have a physical place that you can go to. I will have centers. Well, I don't know if I'll have centers. I haven't really thought that too far about creating physical places yet, but I will be having events, definitely 100%, where you will have these touch and taste experiences to integrate into the visuals and the auditory. And then yeah, it's just a bunch of stuff, guys. I don't mean to keep going into that. I could probably do a whole episode on what the writings of Natalia is, but basically that's what it is. It's a sensory experience made to help you realize your truest nature. So you can be a part of this journey, this quest that I've created for us, and you could just do that by following the Instagram at The Writings of Natalia. Or you can go on thewritingsofnatalia.com. That is my website, and that is where most of the experience will be. You will find everything on that website. So, and that website in itself is like a journey. It is a quest. So when you go inside, you're just going to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, because I have these different pages. As you see, there's Thrive. Thrive is where you can book sessions with me, and there's Following, which is joining the quest and receiving the things that I will be providing you through your email. and learning. There's the play. The play is where you want to look around, and I provide you with sources of learning. You could listen to the podcast on there. You could see the photography and the art. It's a whole experience, guys. So just go on the website. That's the best you could do. So anyways, that's what it is. I just launched that. That is the #1 announcement, and it will be the #1 announcement for the next few weeks probably. And then I'll give you guys a break because you probably already know. So that is that. Anything else that I need to say? I didn't think of anything prior because I didn't think that there's not really too much going on. Other than that real water thing. My Haku, she's so cute. I love her. I have a cat named Haku, by the way. So anyways, that's the only announcement for now. If I think of another announcement, we'll say it again later in the episode. So, getting into, dang, we just hit 50 minutes. Oh my gosh. Oh, parallel reality. What the hell have I been talking about this whole entire time? Oh my gosh. Guys, come on. Parallel universe and alternate reality. Holy freaking crap. What is a parallel universe? Let's make this episode a little longer, guys. If you want, just skip to this part if you want to get into parallel universe. So, the definition I looked up parallel universe is a hypothetical, self-contained plane of existence coexisting with one's own. So this is a parallel universe, and I love how it says hypothetical, when you can clearly see scientists' research that may prove the actual authenticity of these alternate universes. So self-contained plane of existence, coexisting with one's own, meaning your own universe. There is a hypothetical plane of existence coexisting with this one that we are in right now. So now quantum leaping or jumping, or even quantum theory. This is, okay, so I originally, what I thought quantum theory was, I didn't really think it was what it actually is, but then it goes into how quantum theory explains parallel universes. I thought quantum theory was the theory of parallel universes. It is not, guys. This is why you guys got to do your own research. So, quantum leaping or quantum jump theory, whatever. This is when an orbiting electron, so if you think of an atom, and how there's electrons orbiting the atom. This is when the orbiting electron in an atom makes a jump between energy levels. And it jumps so fast that it's unmeasurable. The jump is unmeasurable. So it's kind of like it leaps to a different energy level, and you can't really measure how it got to that energy level, like why it happened and how it did that. So that is a quantum leap or jump. Now, we will just keep that thought in mind. We will kind of piece it all together. So string theory. What is string theory? I didn't do too much research in string theory. I learned it in the beginning of my journey years ago. I watched a bunch of things on string theory. And I can't remember any of it, honestly. Like, a lot of the things that I learned at the beginning of my journey, I know I learned it and I studied it, but it wasn't really retaining to me. So I didn't do too much research in it in this episode, just because I wasn't planning on explaining string theory. String theory on its own is its own theory, so that in itself would have to be its own episode. As you can see, we're already freaking cutting it short. But honestly, I don't know, like, what the heck did I talk about this whole entire time, honestly? So string theory. String theory says that there are about 10 dimensions. That's what I'm going to be sharing this video with you in the podcast Facebook group. But it says that there's 10 dimensions, and that some estimates that there are 10 to the 500th power solutions. So if you kind of know math, this is basically like 10 times 500, but like 500 times, or 10 times 10, 500 times, something like that. Yeah, I'm not, see, you can tell I'm not too great at math, but it's something like that. I remember because the 5 to the power of 2 is 5 times 5. Okay, so then it would be 10 times 10, but 500 times. So that's how many solutions there are. And in string theory, it says that there is a universe attached to each and one of these solutions. But the difference between the string theory and this parallel reality theory is that string theory says that it is a multiverse. Now, a multiverse is not the same as parallel universes. A multiverse there are multiple universes, but they're not parallel to each other. They're just two different universes going on. It's not like they're very similar. So like, okay, to explain again, a parallel universe is that there's another reality that is almost identically similar to the reality that you are living now, except there's something slightly different. You may have said yes to a certain thing, so it kind of shifted a lot of things in the universe. That is a parallel universe where it's very close to one reality, its original reality, but there's something a little different about it, and it's its own universe in its own. So this brings us to the infinite universe theory. And the infinite universe theory that says that there's infinite universes. This kind of goes into more of my theory. So, I am a very parallel universe, many world probability, infinite universe theory person, okay? So, infinite universe theory. This says, and this is what the physicists say, that the universe is infinite. The universe is infinite, okay? And this, I was actually reading Wikipedia. I got lost in Wikipedia yesterday, guys. I was about to call you babe. I was literally about to call you guys babe, like I was talking to my freaking boyfriend. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I almost got lost in Wikipedia yesterday because science points that God exists. Like, it's literally like I'm reading through Wikipedia and it's just basically telling me God exists, like, but through science. Like, by reading all these, like, science, blah, 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 this and that, and this happens, and blah, 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 it's literally telling me, like, God exists. Like, this is proof of God. But how have we not, like, established this? I think this would cause an upruckus, if that's a word. An upruckus. So, anyways, I got lost in Wikipedia and I was just completely mind blown on the things that I was freaking reading about dark matter. Guys, if you guys want to know, if you want to see proof of God, go to Wikipedia and read about dark matter or zero energy. Zero energy. Or zero matter, I think. I think it's zero energy. I don't know. But it's freaking... just look into it, okay? It's freaking crazy. I knew about dark matter, but I wanted to read what Wikipedia had to say about it. So anyways, infinite universe theory. It says that the universe is infinite. Now, what I read in Wikipedia yesterday is that the universe, when we try to measure the universe, it is said that the universe is expanding, right? It's constantly expanding. But it's not expanding at a consistent, constant rate. It is accelerating. So second by second, the universe is expanding faster and faster. It's not like it's expanding at a certain speed. It's going faster and faster. So it's literally immeasurable. We can't measure how big that the universe is because it's like at an increasing speed, faster and faster. It's just increasing and increasing and increasing. So what does this mean? So that's what I read on Wikipedia. Infinite universe theory says that there are only so many ways that particles can form. So, like, the way, like, things are created here, basically, like human form, plants, animals, germs, bacteria, there are only a finite amount of ways that these cells can, and these atoms and these energy particles can create themselves to turn into some sort of form, right? There's only a finite way. So, if that's the case and the universe is infinite, things are going to start repeating themselves because there's only a certain amount of ways that these particles can form. So somewhere deep in the universe, there's probably another version of me. There's probably another version of you. There's probably another version of the notebook that I'm holding or the wall that I'm looking at, because all these things can only repeat themselves. These forms can only repeat themselves because there's only a certain amount of ways to make these forms. If you hear that sound in the background, that's my cat playing with that thing again. The let's call it a racetrack, ball racetrack. It goes. Okay, so that is what the infinite universe theory is that things will start to repeat themselves after a certain amount of time because there's only a finite way that these particles can form. There's a physicist named Brian Greene. His theory is that particles can be arranged in a 10 to 10th power to 122 power. So it's like the power of the 10, that's the power of the 10 is 122. It's like 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 122. That's a really big number, but it is still a finite amount of number. It is smaller compared to infinity. So that's how many ways particles can be arranged, apparently, according to Brian Greene in his theory. So, getting into the many worlds probability. This is basically when quantum theory comes into it. So, many worlds probability, quantum theory. This is sort of hard to explain because I'm not a scientist. And it's so funny because I was literally watching a video that my boyfriend shared with me the other day. I saw it a few months ago, but I forgot about the video and I went to rewatch it. And then I started to rewatch it, but then I got distracted and I didn't finish watching it. So I'll also share that video in the Facebook group. But what that video was that I saw a few days ago was about, he started telling me about it and I wasn't listening, and then I was like, wait, what? And then he was like, yeah, it was that video. And then I saw the video. So basically what this is that, sorry, I think I keep disconnecting my internet or something. I don't know. Basically is that when particles, okay, so like, it's like a demonstration where you're shooting a certain particle through like these slits, right? And the particles are just hitting, like going through the slits. Some are missing it, some are going around it. Like it's just hitting it, some are bouncing off. But when an observer looks at the particles, or something like this, I don't know if I'm explaining it right. I'll share the video, but when an observer looks at the particles, the way that they move change. And so it's like they're moving at a certain rate by themselves if nobody's looking at it. But then when you turn around and look at it, it changes its form and the way it's moving and its direction, sort of. So this is kind of my idea, and I sort of imagine this in my head. This kind of confirms some sort of thing that I had thought of, that like, if I'm looking forward right now, what is behind me doesn't exist technically to me because I am not looking at it. The light that reflects off of the things behind me are not reaching my eyes in order for me to perceive the image, because in order for us to perceive matter or anything that's in front of us, we're seeing it because light is reflecting off of the particles that form those things and are bouncing back into my eyes, my retinas or whatever, and my eyes are a certain lens, and those lenses take the light and the particles that are bouncing through it and put it into an image for me to perceive. So if I'm not looking at something that is behind me, my eyes aren't getting those light rays to perceive the image. So technically, it doesn't exist. I don't know if it doesn't exist or I'm just not seeing it, because it does exist. I know it's behind me. I know my cat is behind me right now, but I'm not looking at her. She exists. But how I see it in my head is a bunch of like energy particles and not in form, even though I know it's in form. I don't know. This is just something I've thought in my head. This isn't anything that is true or anything, but I just imagine this, like behind me, it's just energy particles. And I see that always. I always make sure, like, to remind myself that like all these forms that I see, like my day-to-day life, everything around me, all this material stuff, the things I can touch, all of it is very dense matter. And I see it as I'm energy particles, a bunch of little like energy particles moving through more energy particles. And the nothingness in the air is that dark energy that I mentioned earlier, which also could be translated as Shiva or a Shakti. So, anyways, that video, the one I want to share with you with the test with the particles going through the slits and stuff, it's sort of not confirmed that theory that I came up with, but it sort of explained what I was thinking. So anyways, what this many worlds probability says is that, and then this is when quantum theory comes in with the atom chain jumping. So basically what the many worlds probability is that whenever a molecule hits something or a particle hits something, it splits into two. And then it showed me the many worlds probability, the other video I'll show you, showed me the same experiment or demonstration that the other video that I watched the other day showed me. So it's kind of sort of confirming something, right? Like these things keep popping up in my life, and they all intersect. So it's sort of like the universe is confirming this is how it kind of works. Well, that's just how I feel personally. And it shows that when a particle hits, and it's basically like, think of sound, okay? Say you blow like you're in a small square room, right? And that small square room has two windows in it. And you play a sound or music in that small room, the sound is gonna come out of both windows. This is basically the particles, the sound particles, energy, vibration, frequency, when they are hitting a certain thing, like say the speaker is on one end of the room, all of the sound is going to be directed wherever the speaker is facing, which is the other wall, the wall that's across to it, parallel to it. It's gonna hit the wall, and if those windows are, wherever it hits the wall, those molecules are going to split, and the sound is going to travel wherever it can. So it's gonna hit the wall, it can't go through the wall, it kind of can, but only some particles. That's why you can kind of hear through walls, but not completely. It's gonna hit the wall, some are gonna go through, and then most are going to split, hit the wall, and go out, like outward to the side to reach places where it can. So if the two windows are there on each side of the room, then they're going to split and go out through the windows. So this is basically many worlds probability. Whenever a molecule or a particle hits another molecule or particle, it splits. So, this is basically when something happens in reality, it splits into a parallel reality, it splits into two basically. It splits into multiple things, and then those molecules hit something, and then it splits into things, and it's constantly happening. So this is the many worlds probability. This is the infinite universe theory, that it's constantly splitting, that there is literally a reality for every single situation, every single thing, because anything that happens, there is a split and it creates a new reality. This is what I've come to terms with myself. I literally just heard about the many worlds probability today in the video that I watched that I will be sharing with you, but it further engraved or confirmed the theory that I had on my own by sort of learning quantum theory and physics and sort of knowing these things, because I'm not no freaking scientist person, but I can understand some of these things and then put my own personal experience to it to understand it even better. So what I learned today further confirmed that theory to me. So this is what I say. I'm a big advocate of this theory, and I think that that is what's freaking happening. So this many worlds, there's a universe for every single thing. I want to tie this in really quick with spirituality and yeah, let's tie this into spirituality. So, well, first let's tie this into manifestation before I do it into spirituality. Manifestation, basically, so quantum leaping, this is what I skipped away from quantum leaping. So basically, when you hear in personal help or self-growth things or manifestation, law of attraction things, quantum leaping is the jumping into one of these parallel realities. And the way we do this is by changing our frequency to the frequency that of that reality that we want to create. So all of these, and in the video it further explains how there's different versions of us all tied to the same version. Like there's only one of us, but there's different versions. Like, okay, so me personally, there's like infinite amounts of me, but there's only one me. But does that make, oh my gosh, how does that make sense? Like, okay, so Natalia, like let's say I am Natalia, like me, I'm Natalia of Earth. And there are multiple versions of me, but there is only one Natalia of Earth. There are multiple versions, but there is only one. So it's like the iPhone. There's only one iPhone, but there are different versions of the iPhone. There's the iPhone 6, the iPhone 7, the iPhone blah, 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 but there's still only one iPhone. That's basically that. So all of these are tied into you in a single moment. So this isn't what many worlds probability says, but I don't think it explained that these dimensions or these realities are overlapping in each other in different frequencies. It did not say that in the video, but this is the conclusion that I've come to, that these realities all exist in the same moment right here and now. They just all exist on different frequencies of dimension. So quantum leaping into the reality that you want to create is you attuning your frequency to that certain reality so that you quantum leap or jump into that reality, that certain frequency where that reality exists. So manifestation, if you want to become rich, that reality of you being rich already exists. There's an infinite amount of possibilities of you in your life and anything and everything. So there's a universe where you are rich. There's a universe where you are married. There's a universe where whatever is like you want is or don't want is, and you can get to that reality, but you have to be on the frequency of that reality. You are not in that reality now because you are not in the frequency of it, so you have to attune your frequency to that reality. And by doing that, this is basically basic manifestation stuff, like embody that person. I go into that in many freaking episodes, guys. You just have to go back if you want to know how to create your own reality based off of this quantum leaping or quantum jumping. Let me see if I can go back through, let's see, some episode names. How to Become Your Greatest Version, Season 3, Episode 14. This I probably talk about in there. And let's see, what else? Just go back to that one. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. There's also Season 3, Episode 3, How to Manifest Correctly. I may mention it in there. You just have to look around because I do mention it sporadically in different things. So yes, that is that. So bringing it into spirituality, and what I mean by spirituality is I'm going to talk a little bit about Hinduism. Now this goes out to some friends that I have in India. Umang specifically, if you are listening to this, I'll share this episode with you after I'm done. So you will probably be listening to this. So how does this explain? We kind of talked about Kali Yuga and how this explains how parallel reality explains how we are in Kali Yuga and we're also not in Kali Yuga. So it is said in I don't know which Purana, but basically Vishnu, right? Srinarayana has infinite realities and dimensions coming out of his navel. And there's I'm going to be posting it on the Instagram post of this episode today, the picture of this. And it's Vishnu with these strings coming out of his navel of multiple worlds. You see different Earths and realities, all coming out of his navel. It is said that these are infinite dimensions. When Vishnu created Brahma, and this goes back to a story of Krishna, when Brahma didn't know who Krishna was, didn't know he was an incarnation of Sri Vishnu, he did this whole little thing where, you know, he put his friends to sleep and all this stuff, but he didn't, because Brahma didn't know, he wanted to test Krishna. So anyways, in the end of this story, Krishna reveals himself to Brahma and shows that he is the Supreme. He is Sri Narayana. And he shows him all of the infinite Brahmas that there are. He creates a Brahma, he creates another one, and creates infinite amount of Brahmas. And Brahma didn't know that this was a thing. And he's like, why are there so many versions of me? And he tells him, I created you. I created you to create this universe. There are many Brahmas or versions of you that are the creator of those universes. There's a Brahma for every single universe. There's an infinite amount of Brahmas and universes, like Brahmas to rule the universes. So, keeping that in mind, this is confirmation, if you want to go based off confirmation of the Vedas and Puranas, then this is confirmation that there are infinite realities and infinite universes. And there is a Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva for every single one of these universes or realities. This is what Narayana says. So, keeping that in mind, this confirms that there are parallel universes or realities in this sort of way. And so going into that, you can't think that all of these infinite amount of universes and realities are going through Kali Yuga. You just can't, because if there are an infinite amount of realities and universes, they're all at different paces. Like, there's different things going on in different ways. So there's no way that there is only infinite universes in Kali Yuga right now. There aren't, because that is limiting the fact that there are infinite universes, because if there are infinite universes, then there are universes where we aren't in Kali Yuga. So, bringing this all together with quantum leaping and quantum theory, and Hinduism really, and Sanatana Dharma, is that if there are an infinite amount of universes or dimensions or realities, then not all of them are in Kali Yuga. And quantum theory says that there are multiple realities and universes, and they are all existing in this present moment. But this quantum leaping says that we could jump into different realities or dimensions based off of our frequency. So, since there are universes that we are not in Kali Yuga, we can quantum leap or jump by tuning our frequency to a universe where we are not in Kali Yuga. That is what I was trying to explain to my friend Umang. And so that's kind of how that ties into Hinduism. But that's really it, what I wanted to say based off of parallel realities and universes. So that is that. Yes, I didn't really go deeply into too many things, but I wanted to, because I talk about parallel realities and this quantum leaping and alternate universes and all this stuff consistently. I probably mention it in almost every single episode. And you may be like, what the heck are these parallel realities, alternate dimensions? What is she talking about? Well, I kind of wanted to clear up some things of what I'm referring to when it comes to these sort of topics. So, if you guys want to dive deeper into scientific proof of God, look into freaking dark matter. Okay, this is how I got lost in Wikipedia yesterday. I started with Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti is the supreme goddess, basically, Ma, or Devi. And in the Shakta Puranas, or I don't really know exactly what they're called, but basically that's what it is, it says that Ma is the creator of the universe, Devi. She is the creator of the universe, she is the first and foremost, she even created Shiva. So, going into, I was reading sort of about that, about Adi Shakti, which is her, and then it said something that the closest thing that scientists have come to realizing Adi Shakti is dark matter or something like that. And I was like, what? So then I clicked on dark matter, and then it's talking about this unknown energy. Literally, like it's in the first sentence of the Wikipedia, like dark matter is an unknown energy or unknown matter or something like that. That takes up almost 95% of the matter in this entire universe. It shows a chart, and it shows like 12% of energy is in form or something like that, that we know of, and then the rest is all dark matter, like freaking infinite nothingness that we can't even comprehend. Like, what is that? Like, what? So I just got so deep into these readings that I started getting distracted. I was like, okay, I need to freaking start working on fixing the podcast audio, because I'm getting lost in Wikipedia right now and it's mind-blowing. So if you want to do some craziness, look into Adi Shakti and dark matter on Wikipedia and fall into the deep rabbit hole of that. And I hope I cleared up some misconceptions that we may have about parallel realities, quantum leaping, all of those things. And yeah, I'm sorry for the long episode, guys. I hope you stuck with me through this point. If not, thank you for at least listening to the end part of this, because I don't know what I talked about for the first basically 20 minutes of this, which is ridiculous. So let's not do that again, guys. I'll try not to. This is probably the longest episode that I have. And yes, I love you guys. Thank you for sticking with me this long. You are the best. I hope the audio worked for this freaking podcast, and if not, we'll try again next week. I love you guys. Peace. I hope you have a wonderful week, blessed with opportunity and abundance, and you put in effort to create your greatest version and your best reality. So check out thewritingsofnatalia.com and on Instagram to see what else I have in store for you guys. All right. Peace. Love you.